Hi, this is Jim Mann with Homestyle Southern Cooking, and it's great to see you again today. Today I'm going to bring you a recipe that I've wanted to bring to you for some time. It's my great aunt Sophie's apple cake. She was a fabulous cook. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and they lived in Lynchburg. So we would, on Sundays, the family would get in the car and we would drive to Lynchburg, and she would always have a wonderful meal cooked for us. And one of the things she'd always have was she'd have desserts. And they had apple trees, so she did a lot of things with apples. Well, this is her apple cake. So I'm going to share that recipe with you today. I'm going to start off with 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Put that right in my blender. To that all-purpose flour, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. One teaspoon of baking soda. And 1 teaspoon of salt. I always use a light salt, but you can use regular salt. Okay, so there are mainly my dry ingredients. So I'm going to put this down here, and I'm just going to stir this just to mix it up a little bit. Okay, that's just to mix them up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to start adding my wet ingredients. I'm sorry, there's one other thing. Sorry, I'll redo that again. There's 2 cups of sugar that needs to go in there also. So let's do that and remix that again. Okay, now we've got all the dry ingredients. Now, next what I'm going to add is I've got 1.3 cups of oil. Any kind of oil that you want to use. This is like a Western oil. Pour that in there. To that, I'm going to add 3 eggs. I always like to use eggs at room temperature. They seem to work better. There's 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 eggs. To the 3 eggs, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons, and I know that sounds like a lot, 3 tablespoons of vanilla. That's 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to stir those up a little bit. Nope. Need to put my splash guard on. Okay. Now, to that, I've got 3 cups of chopped apples. Now I use and from this point on, I think I'm going to stir it by hand. I use Granny Smith's apples, but you could use red apples. You can use Golden Delicious, whatever type of apple you want to use. Okay. So I got 3 cups of chopped apples. I'm going to start mixing this with my ingredients, with my mixture. And bring it all up from the bottom because we want to make sure that we get apples throughout the whole thing here. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to add is I've got 1 cup of chopped pecans. Let me get a larger spoon here. Oh, this just smells so good already. Okay, I've got this mixed together pretty well. So what I'm going to do next is I picked out one of my bundt tins. I'm going to take this and I'm going to spray this really generously. Okay. Then I'm going to start just putting this in here. While I'm doing this, let me tell you a story. My Aunt Sophie was married to Uncle George, of course. And Uncle George was quite a character. He had a cow that was only 2 feet tall. And at that time, Barnum and Bailey and all these circus people would come, and everybody tried to buy that cow. So, of course, he wouldn't sell it. So on the weekends, on Saturday, he would have the cow out, and the kids could come over and hand feed the cow, and it was quite a novelty. But he was a bit of a prankster. He had and I fell for it every time I went up there. Every time I went up there, he would tell me, he said, "I've got a new animal out back in the pen. Go look at it." And I'd go out there to see the pen, and he had a really nasty goose. I mean, a nasty goose. And as soon as I'd round that door where the pen was, the goose would see me and come flying after me. And I would come back to the house screaming, hollering, yelling, because that goose was beating me with his wings. And Uncle George was just sitting on the porch just laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. So, but I have real fond memories of going there. Aunt Sophie was one of the best cooks I've ever known in my life. She fixed string beans on Sunday and biscuits that I've never had the likes of in my entire life. So, okay, I've got this in here now. I'm just sort of pressing it around a little bit. And my oven's been set at 300 degrees. Okay, you can see it's all in there. My oven's been set at 300 degrees. This has to cook for about an hour and a half. It's a dense cake. So I'm gonna put it in the oven now for an hour and a half, and I'll be back when the time's up. Welcome back. Our apple cake is out of the oven and it's cooled down. It actually cooked for about an hour and 15 minutes, so it was less time than I thought it was. So it's cool now, so I'm going to slice it. I'll put a piece right on the plate right here. Look at those big chunks of apple on there. And now if I was going to serve that, I've got a little bit of caramel syrup here. And there we go. There's the apple cake with caramel sauce. The real test, the time to taste it and say what it tastes like. And I just got great big hunk of apple right there with this caramel sauce and the apple. My dear friends, I'd forgotten how good this recipe was until I found it, and I haven't made it for years, but I guarantee you I will make it a lot more times. You need to try this one. It's delicious. Wow. Find me on Facebook and like me and follow me on YouTube. I appreciate all of y'all subscribing to my channel. It really helps build me up and helps build the channel up. I think about each one of y'all. I pray for y'all all the time. I hope that you're well. And I appreciate your support and letting me come into your home. Until next time, I'm Jim Mann here in Mexico with this wonderful, wonderful apple cake. which I will have some coffee right now with, saying take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless.